Alright, in this video, we continue to talk about the solution of 2.7, number 6, to analyze and graph the given rational function. So one more time, when we see the denominator, you know that it will be a rational number, a rational function, and top and bottom we can do something called factoring to do it. So when we're factoring the top, you use your eagle eye, you know that there is no such removable whole because there is nothing the same top and bottom I can cancel out. So very good eagle eye, I know that my vertical asymptote will be at -2. So this is what we got that right from the denominator. I do want to repeat about the slant asymptote. Because your top power is greater than the bottom, so there will be a slant asymptote. We mentioned about that. We're going to use the long division to do it. So take a look at that. When we take out the long division, x squared minus x minus 12, divide x plus 2. Now take a look at this, what we mentioned about. You have two items here, right? So what we say, that will be my 1, 2 spot here. So we are going to say what number times x give me x squared. So you can say that, oh, I know that x times x will give me x squared and x times 2 will give me 2x. So long division, you're going to subtract. So x squared minus x squared cancel out, and negative x minus 2, that give me negative 3x. Now we drop down the negative 12 and continue. So what number? Again, what number times x give me negative 3? So that will be negative 3. So negative 3 times x will be negative 3x, and negative 3 times 2 will be negative 6. Long division, eliminate by subtraction. So therefore, negative 12 minus negative 6, I get negative 6. Okay, so you know that the answer will give me, it is the x minus 3 and plus my remainder, which will be negative 6 over x plus 2. Now we talk about in algebra, these number, because you have a denominator, right? Whenever the number you plug it in will become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So therefore, that will eventually become a 0. So therefore, this x minus 3 will be my slant asymptote. Now, this is very cool. The y equal to x minus 3 tells me I will have a y-intercept at negative 3. And my slope, as you can see here, it is 1. So therefore, when you look at my picture, my slope will be 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and my y-intercept is negative 3. So therefore, my slant asymptote is good in spot. Then we mentioned about, Ms. Ho said that I got the information about the critical value of my x. So the top will be my 0. 0 means I'm going to solve that. So therefore, the 4, 0 and negative 3, 0 will be my 2x-intercept, which is right here. So the 4, 0 and negative 3, 0, okay? Now, if you know about the 0, aka it's my x-intercept, you also will call out the information about the y-intercept when x equal to 0. So when you plug in x equal to 0 to your original function, you got negative 6 as your outcome for my y-intercept. So therefore, this is where you see the negative 6 for my y-intercept. So therefore, we say that when you grab this one, you kind of get my picture, right? But as some math people, we like to verify from the analysis. So we talk about, I need to pick some interval, aka the important x value, critical value. So negative 3, it's my 0. 0, it's my y-intercept, x must equal to 0. And 4, it's another x-intercept. So those are the important x value. Now I need to check it. So I'm going to choose some number less than negative 3. So I pick negative 4. In between negative 3 and 0, I'm going to pick negative 1. In between 0 and 4, I'm going to pick 1. And in between, bigger than 4, I'm going to choose 6. So what do we say? When you plug in the x value back to your original function, you are going to simplify everything you got, and that will give us the y value. So once we have the y value, that gives us the next step. What will be my sign? Is that positive or negative? So what you see is what you got. -4, it's negative, -10, negative, -4, negative, and 9/4 will be a positive. So that gives us a next move, which tells me it's my picture above, because positive, or below, negative. So those are matching. Negative tells me my picture is below, and positive tells me my picture is above. So it makes sense. So let's take a look at this one here. So everything less than -4, as you can see here, my x value -4, it tells me it's negative outcome, so it will be below the x-axis. Good. Now, what happened is in between -3 and 0, okay, we're gonna put here. In between 3 and 0, we choose -1, and that is also tells me my picture had to be below. Very good, so that match. Now what happened it is when I choose some number in between 0 and 4, now use your eagle eye. In between 0 and 4, which will be right here, right? 0 and 4, and what do you see in my picture? And it still be below. And then when you check on the number, everything is bigger than 4. You see that everything bigger than 4, I see my picture is above. So this is what we call cool about the sign. Number 7, in class we mentioned about that what you see is what you got. I do have a question say that, Ms. O, how about my denominator? I know that I should have a 2 vertical asymptote. Very good. So the 2 vertical asymptote will be at -3 and 2. So this is what you see is what you got. Ooh la la, beautiful, right? Now you may say that, Ms. O, is there any horizontal asymptote? Yes. Now I like the question say that, Ms. O, the top degree and the bottom degree exactly the same. So you tell us about the shortcut. The leading coefficient will tell us. So when I cancel this out, what will be the leading coefficient? 1/1. So I do have a horizontal asymptote, aka it's the limit of my function y equal to 1, and that's the horizontal asymptote. And this is the tricky thing about your eagle eye, okay? So you're going to repeat the same thing. Choose a very important number to go. So -3 and 2 will be very important, and the 0 is to get my y-intercept. It's also very important. So we had to pick some number less than -3, so we pick -4. In between -3 and 0, we pick -1, and in between 1 and 2, we pick 1, and bigger than 2, you pick 3. So those are the checking number. You're going to plug it back to your original function and get it. So once you get the number, this is your eagle eye comes in. Is that positive or negative? So positive tells me it will be above. Okay, negative tells me below, and then you can verify your picture. Ooh la la, love it. So this is what we mentioned about the curve, about my rational function, and this is also something cool about the analysis. So check this out again. Everything, as you can see, that less than -3, let's go that. Everything less than -3, which is right here, because my number is positive, so my picture had to above the x-axis. Cool? So everything you pick, it is in between -3 and 0, which is right here. As you pick that, everything we got is a negative, so that will be below the x-axis. So far so good? Now everything we do will be from the definition of the function. Hopefully you see the beautiful of the rational function and love it. The denominator is cool, and the factoring is even awesome. So use your eagle eyes. That's all. Have a good day. Thanks.